Ingrid, this is where Ingrid's really going to get upset and freak out.
I think I heard a sigh.
There was a big sigh. Hold on, Ingrid. Who's and then Keith got kicked out. So Keith's back in the green room. Not sure what happened there, but welcome back, Keith, our guest for today. And yeah, something's going on.
So why don't you start it again?
YouTube waiting on Carolina Coops.
Yeah, it's for some reason it's just waiting. It's sending data and it's not actually going.
All right, guys. If you're watching us on Facebook, please stand by. We're going to come right back. We're going to end the show and start the show over. Please don't leave us. But no, see, now we got someone on YouTube from Alabama.
I know, but he probably has Facebook open as well. He might be. I don't know.
But they're commenting on YouTube.
But Mike said the same thing.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and start over. I apologize, but we've had a good run for a while, too.
Yeah.
And then also our guest, Keith, I'm sure you can still hear us. Be prepared to call back here in a little bit, or thank you for the thumbs up. We may have to send you a new link. 'Cause I think I'm just going to reset Ecamm Live altogether. So again, sorry guys, I hate to do this. I hate when I got to do it. Oh, no. It's working. Look we just doubled our viewers.
All right, go back to here.
Oh, we're going back. Hold on. I'm fighting with the mouse. I know. I have control issues, Ingrid.
I want a mouse.
We're online. Look at that. Hey!
All right. We'll start again.
That was embarrassing. We are back online. I think what happened was YouTube is like, that's not their music. That's not their intro. They don't own that.
I think it's we started too early. That's what I'm going with.
Everything is always my fault. All righty. Well, sorry about all that. I'm glad we didn't have to start over. People, oh yeah, here we go. Everyone from YouTube coming in, back on YouTube. Wow, there's Nan's mom, Cindy Cam. Cindy, how you doing? Hope everything's good at home.
Yeah, I missed my trip to New York.
Yeah, we did not. You did not.
I always go to New York in August to see you guys, and now you're here. I can't.
Oh, my whole buddy Mark. Okay, all right. We don't need to talk about me anymore. I do not have control issues. I know I opened up Pandora's box. We can comment on YouTube even if you aren't live. Oh, okay. Interesting. All right. Well, I think we're good to go. And we're going to go ahead. So, okay, if you're just joining us, welcome. Happy
Friday.
Happy Friday. Here we are already. I can't believe how fast these weeks are going by. Today, we have a customer from 5 years ago, we're going to say. I think it's a little bit longer. That hexagrade kind of dates it, but I'm sure you guys know. He is a realtor, is a licensed realtor here in beautiful Raleigh, North Carolina. And apparently he's got some comments and things to talk about when it comes to real estate and chickens. And also, if you missed it, another fun fact is Kristen is a licensed realtor. So I'm kind of curious what you've come across in real estate, even though I don't think you dabble as much as, you don't do it full time.
Right.
But you helped us buy this building.
Right.
That felt like a full-time job.
Yes. You are a full-time job. Yes, that's right.
Oh, I hear that a lot. But also more importantly, here's a great way. We're about to show you guys. Keith did a phenomenal job showing how he moved his chicken coop, which I can tell you is a nightmare. These coops are big, they're heavy, and I want to go ahead and get started. So Ingrid, I'll tell you what, I'm going to stop. I'm going to let go of this mouse. There we go.
Oh my God.
Oh, don't hit the mic.
Well, then don't hit the mouse. Oh my God. You are so annoying.
There's so much hostility in the room right now.
really
Ingrid is piss and vinegar today. I think she loves it.
I like that laugh.
I am.
Yeah.
I'm getting Keith.
Where's the kitty? Where is our shop kitty, by the way?
Oh.
All right, Keith's on.
What's going on, Keith? How you doing
Okay.
today?
Wait, let me get his. All right.
Unmute him. Unmute him.
Yes.
Hold on. You're not. Hold on, Ingrid.
I can't
It's hot out there.
see.
It's hot out there. Hold on. We got to unmute him. I'm not sure why he's still muted. What did you do?
What I did.
Well, you did it because why is it not unmuted?
Oh, guest has muted themselves.
Oh, you muted yourself, Mr. Bliss.
There you go. No,
Well, we're going to boy, we are having a hell of a day today.
I'm gonna go home now.
All right, hold on. Yeah, he's talking. Guest has muted. So you've muted yourself somehow, Keith. I'm not sure how. And we're going to try this again. Add it to the right.
Okay.
No. Boy, we see ya. Love the shirt. Can't wait to talk about this shirt. But you have somehow muted yourself. I'm going to hang up and go ahead and call back
now
in.
you did. No, now you muted.
You muted the guest.
Okay. Try it now.
Guests has muted themselves.
Okay.
What in the hell is going on today? I did not mute the guest.
Gremlins.
You want to just
Gremlins.
try
We're gonna
again?
we're gonna start over. So Keith, if you can hear us, hopefully you can. Go ahead and call back. All right. Sorry about that, guys. We are having a hell of a day, but we're gonna make up for
I
it.
feel
We got
like
an
I
awesome
should
show.
dance a jig just to entertain people.
Yeah, wait, what do you want to do? All right, let's do this now.
Okay, we can see him.
I hear him.
Go. Now
Yeah.
we got 'em.
You can hear me?
Yes.
Yes, sir. How you
We
doing?
can hear you. We can see
Excellent.
you. Hello, Keith.
So cool. How are you?
Good.
So Keith,
Oh, look
thank
at that.
you.
Got a laugh track on us too. That's awesome.
Yeah, we're having some technical difficulties, but thank you so much for hanging in. Thank you so much for joining us today. And I tell you, you must have some phenomenal internet. Sometimes it gets a little glitchy, but you're coming in nice and clear. And right away, I
Sure.
just wanted to ask, when did you buy this coop from us?
6 years ago.
6. See, I knew it.
Oh, I was
knew
guessing
it.
5.
Yes, I knew you were
I
guessing.
was muted during that conversation. I put up my thumbs for six. Maybe you only saw the one thumb. So
Oh yeah.
anyway,
So, so show us if you could, maybe just pan. I want to show our viewers what we're looking at here. So if you could flip around, and then we'll come back to you.
Is there a way to flip?
Okay, if not, then don't. So basically, what we have
All
behind
right, it's all right.
Keith.
Okay, I'll
there we
turn
go.
around. There we go.
So there is a Carolina Coop, and that is a 4x6 hen house, 6x12 run. Beautiful New York Yankees colors. Are you a Yankees fan?
I am.
I had a feeling.
Did you do that on purpose?
No, I did it to match the building.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So you had this coop for 6 years, and you must have moved to a new home.
So we moved locations. We sold our home and wanted to take the coop with us. So we brought it here under a giant, beautiful pin oak. So we got plenty of shade on this 100-degree day. And we're in the process of putting it back together and painting it at the same time.
Very nice. I tell you, it looks great. So talk to us about the process. Hopefully there's a lot of good stuff, but I love to open up and share everything. And I tell you, I am impressed. Taking these coops apart is a nightmare once they're put together. And remind us also, you put your coop together, correct?
Yeah, so it was flat pack. You shipped it to me flat packed, and I put it together. The first time around when I put it together, I had put it together in my garage as a test run, and also to figure out how I wanted to paint it before putting it in its first foundation space at our old backyard. And so digging back, of course, I don't think I had an iPhone yet, so I couldn't find any old photos in my iCloud of when I put it together, but I know I did take lots of pictures then. And luckily for me, honestly, I have this weird gift that if I take a picture of something, I rarely forget what I took a picture of. I don't have a photographic memory. It's the opposite. If I take the photograph, then at least I have some sort of remembrance. So this time around, I cataloged photographing it before I took it apart, during, labeled everything as I took it apart, and then when we got here to put it back together, it's all labeled. So I'll give you an idea. The entire roof system is sitting right here on the ground.
Oh, hold on. So just so you know, what I did is I just started showing some of the pictures, and
good.
I will go back to
He's got the roof on
the
ground.
main page. Yeah. So I wanted to start showing people what you've done, because when you mentioned that you've taken a lot of photos, boy, did you. And so you got them nicely labeled.
Yep, so I label them so I know exactly where they're going to be when I put them back on. And then it's right side, left side. You number it from front to back, all of those things. Yet the quality of the coop, first of all, I got to start with that, lends itself, because I took it apart and then left it out, unfortunately, in the rain. Also during transport, one of the gable sections of one of the end caps fell off onto Weston Parkway. Luckily, I saw it in the rearview mirror at the time and was able to quickly retrieve it.
That happens.
And then all of your all of your jig screw joints, pull this thing back together really quickly. So all of the weight points, honestly, all of the weight points in how you build them make it really, really easy for me as a customer, not only to have confidence, but, feel comfortable in moving it because, yeah, we've thought about flatbedding it several times, but getting it out of the space that we had, where it was fenced, we didn't have that great of an opportunity. So yeah, we took it apart. I took it apart personally until got down to the main section. So one of the pictures you may have there in there is a picture of just this center panel on the back two panels of the coupe, and that's the foundation of it. The only piece I really needed someone else involved overall was to lift this one piece up and then have the other two pieces in place. So it's heavy, but if you're systematic and you take your time, in other words, this is not a rush job. This is a take apart part of it, label it, take a rest, take apart a little bit more, take a rest, and make sure. And then also, luckily, I had a nice place to store it, elevated on concrete, on top of pallets, so it didn't soak in any water, didn't get a lot of sun damage or anything else. Because some of these, all of the materials are such great quality, they're gonna wear, but I wouldn't leave it exposed and not put back together for very long at all.
Right. Yeah. So what you're describing, and I can't thank you enough for that, is the importance of not only a great design and have beautiful aesthetics of a beautiful chicken coop, but the materials we choose are so important. And I mean, that is just Doug Fir 101. That is one of the reasons why we love Doug Fir. And I tell you, you got some phenomenal pictures, and I can see how much work you've put into this. So if you wouldn't mind, I'm not sure if you can see the screen of what we're looking at, but I want to go right to the beginning and talk about something that customers always ask. What do I have to do some prep work? So I would love for you to kind of talk us through, did you just want to make sure your son got out and start? I'm assuming it was your son. I mean, what a great way to have him get out, get some blisters, get that pickaxe, and we see that you trenched it out. So talk to us about your thought process here.
For the foundation.
For the foundation. I think we may have lost him. It got quiet. Oh, well, we had a good run. So not sure what happened there. We may have just lost him or maybe hit the button on accident. All right, well, we're going to see what happens, but our viewers can still see this. So that was Keith Bliss, a customer from 6 years ago.
Yes, and he's located in Cary, North Carolina.
Cary, North Carolina, and Cary stands for?
Containment Area for Relocated Yankees.
That's right.
Keith is from Connecticut.
That's where... Ooh, he's from Connecticut. He's a Yankees fan. Anyway, so a question we get a lot
I
is,
believe he's from Connecticut.
What do we do for our base? And I tell you, this is a great way to put in a base. What was that, Ingrid?
There's no Connecticut baseball team. So.
Get into the mic.
There's no Connecticut baseball team, so of course you got to be a Yankees fan. Jeez.
Well, there's the Mets.
No.
So, whenever...
Is he calling back in?
Whenever
we
you
got
put
other stuff to talk about.
All right. Ingrid's messing with the... Yeah, so
No,
somehow we lost him. I'm not sure what's going on.
Let me text him.
Yeah.
Oh,
there he is.
There he is.
I'm back.
Yay!
Did we hang up on you on accident?
Something. That's all right. We're good.
Keith, did your son's wrestling team move it initially or something like that?
No, we had this grand thought of just having a bunch of jockheads come over and lift it and do that, and we just couldn't coordinate it. So
okay.
It just I had a free moment, and I said, you know what? There's plenty of battery power in my drill guns. Let's get started. And I just got on the roof and started taking it apart. So, and then finally, because he's a teenager and he arrives when he wants to arrive. So, I had plenty of work to do before he decided to show up. So, Matt, I want to explain this, my thought process, because I know your time is valuable. I want to make sure that we cover this real quick. When when you're showing the photos of the prep of the foundation and the base, the last time around we did this, we didn't secure. Luckily, we moved all of these concrete block with us. Okay. However, last time around we put a base of gravel all the way around, and the hens just dug right through it often. So then the blocks would then sag in gaps, and then we'd have to constantly refill. This time around, we just decided to trench it, fill it with Quikrete, dry pack it, meaning you don't use water.
Mm-hmm.
Just dry pack it and get it as level as possible, because I am dealing with a teenager with with attention span and wants to be other places. But it actually turned out really cool, and he's really proud of himself over it, because then what we did is we trenched it, packed them all in, and we had to do it all at once, and we double trenched and double packed the rear of the coop, because that's the toughest part to get to once you're really maintaining it. Once you have your layers of wood chips and bird crap and everything else down here, and their feeders, it's really hard to get back there. And that's where they go when you go in to maintain. They go back there to get away. So, and they dig a lot back there. And then often that's the area that you get worried that a coyote or a fox or something or a raccoon or someone might dig in later. So what we did is we double platformed that back area there, for two reasons. First, we undermeasured. And second of all, it seemed like a good idea to keep it there anyway. But then what we did is we sloped. If you can see it here, we sloped and just literally put in the dry Quikrete. So now you can see the aggregate. But we sloped it and went all the way around to really just secure. We really just wanted to secure. Where are you? We really just wanted to secure the coop and contain it, from critters, and also just to keep them from, they would scratch at that gravel all the time. That's what they were craving to dig and claw at, and so now we're excited to have it that way. And we will eventually, because I like to roast a lot of oysters, we'll have a lot of oyster shell to throw in there as big pieces, let alone crush it and get it in there naturally. And on top of that, we have the regular additive that we put in little tuna can holders on a couple of these studs. So anyway, that's the premise for putting together this type of base, because I really like to keep it elevated, keep it, all of the framing is done really, really well. It's taken a lot of abuse because it was up against a fence on one side. And for those who don't keep a coop like this, or over time, the chickens they dig and they shit, and then they dig and they spray all that outside the coop. So outside the coop, you end up with these clumps all along the base here. I only have one piece of seemingly somehow got a little bit of rot.
How many chickens
down here?
Right. How many chickens
in a 6-year period? That's it. Just
right.
That.
I mean, yeah, no, that is awesome. That is all pressure treated.
So it's super.
How many chickens do you have?
Well, right now we have none.
Well, no,
I have my one chicken here right now.
Okay, so how many chickens did you have in there?
So we would keep anywhere between 6 and 12.
Okay. Yeah, and that's exactly what that coop is designed for. So, okay, so if you're just joining us, again, I just wanted to mention we have Keith Bliss, a customer from 6 years ago, also a licensed realtor. We're going to talk a little bit about chickens and real estate. But I tell you what, I love everything you just said, because what I want to do is get down to the details so people can understand what they're looking at. And that is something, especially if you're not free ranging, chickens. One, again, we're not making it up. They scratch, they dig, they just do all kinds of stuff to be chickens. And the foundation.
They're very industrious.
Yeah, the foundation of your chicken coop is critical that we hold up the structure. Well, what the chickens are doing is acting as excavators, scratching around the foundation. And Keith is exactly right. That can cause the coop foundation to actually fall down or to settle. And
especially in the back where it's heavy.
Well, they love to be underneath that hen house.
Actually, these side where these two come together, these pressure points start sagging if that span starts dipping. So you have to keep it support it. So
Yeah,
yeah.
so this is a great way, another great way that anyone can do it. And I love that you got the teenagers out there. It's one thing we as parents, I know I'm just as guilty. We don't force our kids to get out and work as much as they should, but just a great example with chickens, get them out there with a pickaxe and understanding a little hard work and some engineering and some thought process and troubleshooting. And again, it was a great, great idea. And I love the dry packing. So if you take your cement, whatever you're going to use, and you dig out your trench and you just put it down in there dry, you don't necessarily have to mix it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you do it a lot with fence posts too.
Okay.
You can just dump it in there, and then you can fill it up with water, or just let rain do its job. Uh-oh, here we go.
I caught
Good
it.
save. Good save.
And the other thing that is nice is it helps you adjust your blocks very easily to get that nice and level. And when that cures, it'll become rock solid. And I love that he's exactly right. It's a great way to prevent the chickens from digging out the soil underneath the chicken coop, causing any sagging or low points.
And they dig just because they're trying to get some cool dirt, or they're making a dust bath. They're not really digging to create problems or to dig their way out. They're just doing chicken things, and while they're doing chicken things, it does bring that gravel
Well,
out.
they're bored. They're bored. They have 2 strong feet and nothing else, so
Yeah.
they're bored.
And they have a pea brain.
Yes. Well, and when people ask me most of the time about chickens, and say, well, what, tell me something I really need to know. And you know what I say?
What?
Can you hear me?
What?
I say they die.
Oh, they do.
They do.
It's
right?
part
Like,
of the cycle of
there's
life.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's times where you come out to the coop and you're like, I'm missing one, and you walk back here, and you open up the doors aren't on right now, but this telling can you see me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we lost you for a
Must
little
be when
bit
I get
there.
over there. Hold on.
Yeah, that
Oh,
might be a bad spot.
So yeah, that must be just a little far away. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Yep, you're good now.
It's coming back. Okay.
Yeah.
So every once in a while you're like, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where's number 6? And then, first, plenty of times you let the hens out in the evening. They let themselves back in, which is really cool. They put themselves to bed like a good 12-year-old should. And then you forget to put the door, you forget to get someone back there to close the door. You wake up the next morning and you hear, lots of chickens on your back porch. It happens, right? And then all of a sudden you're missing one. It just disappears, completely disappears. Most of the time we've been lucky that our chickens completely disappear. We've had ones where came outside and there's no head on one. It just happens. Like there's weird stuff happens.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, predation is
Yeah.
a very real thing. And, one of the things I was always taught, when you have livestock, you're going to have dead stock. But our job is to keep the girls, in this case, the chickens, as happy and safe as possible. And, but that is one of the things that stinks. I'll never forget when I lost my first chicken and she just dropped dead for no reason. So, I mean, obviously there had to be
Yeah.
a reason, but I walked out of my shop. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
She's just dead there. So we have a couple questions. So if you guys have any questions, this show is for you guys. We have Keith Bliss, a customer from 6 years ago who's moved his chicken coop and again has amazing pictures that I wanted to bounce back to.
And a great shirt.
But we do have a question that I was thinking myself it would be a good question, and someone already asked it, is when you do the block with the dry mix, does that replace the Predator apron?
I thought about that too.
And I'm not sure what you guys would say, but I would lean towards no. I think it would help prevent animals from digging underneath, but I always feel safest bringing that Predator apron out, that full 24 inches.
I think in this case, we're talking about maybe 80% effective versus 99% effective. I think that's going to be really effective.
I would say it depends on the location, the surface,
Yeah.
And how far away from your house is it? Is there lighting? The interesting thing is we've now put it in a spot. One of my questions was for you guys was going to be, at night, there are lights on all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not going to necessarily be dark per se when we have street lamps in this location. So it'll be an interesting concept. We are going to make sure this time around we will have we have a ring camera on 2 parts of our building, but we're also going to add one to the coop, which will be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
Have a live cam, and then we're also going to take our starter, one of our starter pens, and put it inside the coop for the for the chicks as we raise them. We'll have them in the environment before they're even released out into the bigger part of the coop. So that should be an interesting experiment as well.
Yeah. Sometimes people actually raise the chicks in that hen house. So
I'm a
that's
huge
another-
fan of using the
another
hen house
idea.
as a brooder. Absolutely.
Yeah, I never and back to the predation. I never realized how many awesomely cool predator gliding birds existed in my neighborhood until I had chickens. And even when they're babies in a little bucket, man, do they figure out where they are quickly. And not turkey vultures, but the cool ones. The cool hawks show up quickly. So
Yeah, they absolutely do. I want to say when they're younger, that you're going to see the hawks even more. They just know that's an easier snack. So there's a couple comments coming in, and we have some questions I would love to get to. And Keith, I would love to talk a little bit about a subject we've never talked about on the show. I have 2 realtors here now. And as a business owner, my job is to always think about the future. My job is to make sure the company sticks around and that we grow. And I've always been taught, you got to figure out today what people are going to buy tomorrow. But when we buy, it's always based on emotion, especially when it gets into real estate. So I would love to hear more about some of the things you guys are seeing out there in the world of real estate, in this case residential, maybe sometimes commercial, but what their thought process is, and maybe are they looking at a house and all of a sudden there's a chicken coop in the back and they're like, wow, I never thought about having a chicken coop, because we have had customers sell their house and the people buying the house said, no, we want that chicken coop. It became part of the deal, or sometimes we had to move it. So that's something I definitely want to talk about. And then the other thing too is you mentioned, I don't want to say excessive, but there's going to be more lighting than normal that we have learned could potentially cause a problem. But lighting, I have also from a predatorial point of view, sometimes we have tried using lights that come on from motion sensor
motion lights
to try to scare them. I think maybe that works, but I think every predator can eventually learn the system. It's quite impressive. So I didn't want to mislead people. It's something to think about. But most important, Ingrid in that microphone. The most important thing is every situation is so different, and you really want to learn what's going to work best for you, and that's what I'm hearing here. So there's a couple questions and comments, and one of them is from a Kelly. What do you recommend putting in the run? Right now I have what's left of grass, an 8x16 run. Wait, we get that question all the time. So Keith, in your situation, what do you plan on doing inside your run?
So typically I will, by default, anything, first of all, let's start there. Anything that's biodegradable, that doesn't necessarily, I wouldn't use Spanish moss. Let's just jokingly say something, because it's full of mites. Like people are like, oh, I want something soft and cushy for my chickens. No, they don't care about that. If they want soft and cushy, they'll dig and create something, right? However, I just start with, pine wood chips that they sell at the chicken feed store, like that. Fill it up with those, mulch, and then pine straw if you have to. But whatever you do, they're going to kick and move it around. So it better be broken up enough so that you're not losing yourself or all of your chicken wire is full of stuff that they're kicking around. So. So
there's lots of options.
There's lots of options, and different climates, different areas of the country have different recommendations. So your local chicken supply store, they typically know what's best for that environment. Much like planting tomatoes in zone 1 through 10 across the country. I wouldn't know how to recommend it.
I won't.
But Matt, to your point, to start with on the real estate side, because I know you want to hear about this.
Yes.
100% of your customers, want to live somewhere where they can get approval to have a chicken coop. Number one. Okay. So if you're in an area of the country where 80% of your homes are controlled by homeowners associations with protective covenants and guidelines, and there's no city
Dale.
and there's no city ordinance about it, or there is a city ordinance preventing it, then you have to start with your grassroots efforts to get some sort of acceptance level. Once you're there, I find more people. I had clients walk in the other day. They're selling $1 million home. They've got $1.5 million budget. They don't, and they called me because they were recommended to me. They drove up. They saw my chicken coop. They walked in the door. They said, where can we sign? I said, what do you mean? She goes, well, I love your coop, and I can tell it's not brand new. Where'd it come from? Like, she knew the story behind it right away. And I said, well, what do you mean? She said, that's why I want to move to a non-HOA. I want chickens. And her husband's just shaking his head like, I've never seen a million, a $2 million deal happen over, sticks.
We have. It does happen.
Over some framing out there. But it's really, and chickens are just easy. They're easy.
Yeah, they are.
Kristen, how many chickens have you had at one time?
Oh, I can't answer that question.
Like 200? Commercial break.
I don't talk about my numbers.
Who's asking?
well, meaning if it's that easy, it's that easy. Now, here's the main thing that y'all probably talk about a lot, but it really comes down to most municipalities prevent roosters. Okay,
Right,
so
right,
you can have hens all day long. The roosters, is where number one, they wake up early and they wake everybody up early. So it's usually a noise ordinance scenario first than anything else. And then I would say the other is containment, right? When your chickens are running loose across your entire subdivision and your neighbors are calling, hey, I think your chickens are out, and what's interesting is people don't like to see, Canadian geese get no respect. Chickens get all the respect in the world. One chicken running around will cause everyone in the neighborhood to stop. 20 Canadian geese, and people are going to fly right through them. They could care less. My point is, we have a natural connection with livestock that provide for us as humans, right? And so that's part of it as well. We have the exotics, but then we also have people that want high producing eggs because they have a family to feed. So you have lots of different variety within that. And I look forward to, having the coop in this spot for a long period of time and be able to really enjoy different varietals over their lifetimes. One of our chickens lasted up to literally, I was trying to figure out how to keep our last remaining hen comfortable while I moved the coop. And then that last night, it was Mother's Day or Easter. She was out having a good time. We had her on Facebook Live. She was actually in the house because we were selling it, so my wife could care less. Now the chicken was in the house. It was really a lot of fun. And once the kids left the door open. And the next day, she ended up in the neighbor's yard. We don't know how she got there, but she must have gotten scooped up by a bird. The bird said, oh, this is too much. I don't want it, and let go into the other yard. And then the dog played with it as a rag doll. That's it. And it happens. But, in the end, the connection to chickens and the awareness factor for a neighborhood. Some neighborhoods are very aware, and it's fun if you're buying into a neighborhood where someone else already has chickens. The other is where chickens were there, and then the HOA created some kind of rule that said no way. So you've got to really dig into that and make sure, don't make any assumptions that chickens are necessarily prevented, but also you want to make sure that your neighbors would welcome them and not complain, call the town, help help when a hen is loose, let you know if they see a coyote walking around. You want friends that are going to be friendly and neighborly, and of course, handing them a container of chickens helps. A container of eggs helps.
Not everyone wants a
you give
container of chickens, but I would.
no,
I'll take
right. You
that.
give them a container. Well, there's stories of shipments of chickens going to the wrong place, right? And then you can't
Right.
return them. So all of a sudden you have a whole box of chicks and no place to put them. Anyway, I just want to cover that in that whole basis because there's a variety of questions that come around all of what I just said. So hopefully that covers some of the topic.
No, I absolutely you did. I tell you, did a great job. And there's just if you for our viewers that are just joining us, we have Keith Bliss with us, who is a customer from 6 years ago, also a realtor, and we're here talking about chickens and real estate. And I think that was awesome that a $2 million house is bought because of a chicken coop. That always makes me happy. And then we're talking about how he moved his chicken coop and the quality of the Carolina Coop. And I tell you, sitting here looking at a lot of the pictures, it makes me happy to see, and I'm a fan of change. It's amazing now to look back and see the things that are still working perfectly today, especially with the roof system. I am reminded of so many growing pains, and I tell you, it's awesome hearing it from the customers, which is one of the reasons why I love this show. And also, if you're just viewing or just joining us now, please say hi in the comments. Let us know where you're watching from. We'd love to hear from everyone. And there's a couple more questions we did want to get to.
I have a question.
Hold on, me
Wait,
first, because I have a question.
I-
All right, you go first.
Keith, do you see an increase in people wanting chickens or asking about HOAs or the areas that might allow chickens, like not being in an HOA? I mean, is this something
Well,
that you find?
I would say that I attract that conversation by who I am and what I do.
Okay.
I'm not your, you know, roll into my 5.0, in South Beach. Like that type of realtor is not gonna, no one's gonna ask that
Yeah.
realtor in South Beach, can I have chickens, right? So it does have a lot to do with, people, with social media, they figure out who you are. And then those who know who you are tell other people about it. So when the conversation comes up around it, I mean, I get people asking me about my chickens that I hadn't seen in 4 or 5 years, and I run into them somewhere, and 2 minutes in, like, tell me about your chickens. I'm like, my chickens, because and it's funny because you do Facebook Lives, and you put the camera right up next to the chicken wire, and the beak is poking on the camera. Man, do people think that's funny?
Oh,
they
yeah.
they just it's hysterical. And our next flock of birds are going to be like young kids totally used to a camera being in their face. So that's why I want to have a camera inside the coop from the beginning, so that they know it too. And I almost want to make sure I have the two-way speaker on it so I can make a clucking noise on the other end too to really drive them crazy. But no, I would say that the question comes up for people that want a lifestyle change and are done with the busy. And here, let's just face it, the urban movement is not going away. We have a community garden effort as well, and in gardening, it comes in waves of volunteers and everything else. Chickens the same way. Tons of people try chickens, but don't really do it right. And I tend to, anything I try, I go all out. So right from the get-go, I never owned a chicken until I owned this coop behind me from you, Matt. So I mean, this is where it comes from. So I would say that the urban affordability has shifted quickly. So there are plenty more people with means willing to buy in gentrification neighborhoods, to revitalize neighborhoods, to knockdowns and teardowns and new builds. And plenty of people want to take a mid-century modern and redo it and add a chicken coop. Like that's like part of their demographic. Like they'll drive a Tesla, have a sub-zero fridge inside, but they don't want to put they don't want to put a chicken egg inside it. They want to keep their eggs on the counter.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's like a requirement in their lifestyle.
Yeah.
Is that they want all these things and they want that. I would say, and one thing that I haven't really gotten into yet is automated watering, automated feeding, type things or water capture off my roof line, because you got all that metal roof and I've got rain barrels that I can hook, connect to these corners and create, a water trough.
Oh no. What just happened?
I don't know.
I think we lost him again.
No, I think I hear him again. No,
Oh,
he's
there he
there.
is. There he is.
I'm
Okay.
here.
You're offline.
It was just for a second.
What just did we just get booted?
And then another thing that helps is if you drive a Cooper.
A Mini Cooper. That's awesome.
So especially when I park it, now that I can park it right next to the Coupe itself, oh my God, it's really funny because it's the same size. It's actually could fit inside if I put a roll door on the front, I could park it in there. Anyway.
Real quick, so I want to ask my question now, but that was a great question.
Yeah.
All right.
So going back to, we're going to share the screen. We're going to go back to these wonderful photos that you have. And of course, there's our wonderful website. We're going to be doing a duck house there soon, believe it or not. Let's see. Let's go back over to iCloud Photos. So a question I have, and it appears you guys are just doing an amazing job. But one of the things that I hear a lot from people that have purchased a coupe from us, and I don't blame them, to pay us to paint these coupes, it is pricey, but there's a reason why. One, the products we use are very expensive. I mean, you got to use a good quality paint, and it's very time consuming. And I just wanted to ask you what your thoughts are on, because I see you got some great photos of the actual painting process. If you have, looking back now, any thoughts and ideas, because you painted your coupe originally, right? We didn't paint it for you.
Yeah, I stained it originally. I used a solid stain before, and then this time around, we're using really good paint.
What color is that?
Naval.
Okay.
Sherwin-Williams Naval, color of the year in 2019. The painting process, yes, I'm an experienced painter. So cutting in edges and going back again. I attempted, in one of the pictures you may or may not see, interior wise, it is. I put tape around the framing of the windows and the door inside the coupes. You see some of the painter's tape there.
Uh-huh.
Finally, I was like, I'm outside. It's gonna rain. What a sissy. Pull it all off. So now I'm back to regular painting. And every once in a while you got to touch it up, and I may go back, with a little bit of touch up on some paint that might get on the chicken coop itself. But it's authentic. I would say overall though, you want to protect the product, right? You want to protect what you're buying quickly. You want to seal it. You want it done right. And if you're offering it to be pre-painted in a color scheme, by all means, it's worth it, because half of the trim, I wish I could pop off, paint, and put back on, but it's just not worth it. It's worth it overall for someone to get the color scheme they want, right from the get-go through during the process. Just like getting a car painted. I mean, you order it in the paint color you want. Otherwise, you want to go to paint it later. It's a lot of work.
Yes, it is a lot of work.
So you mentioned something I found interesting, because I'm a huge fan of solid acrylic stains. And you said you decided to switch to a paint this time. What was the thought process behind that?
I have a lot of leftover.
Oh, okay.
It's the same.
I'm into reuse, and I found enough. I had, a full extra gallon of Naval and plenty of alabaster white. So I had plenty of leftover to use. So and we will go with Naval orange for accents. The coupe door that was a salmon color, and originally our colors that we used were all mistake colors. We went to the mistake aisle at Lowe's or Home Depot. We went to the bin right near the mixers where they're selling gallons for $10 of mistakes, and we used mistake colors to begin with. So,
and that looked good.
Yeah, it fit the trend, and it looked a lot like our house before. So it works.
So in the comment section.
And then I had a question for you. I'm about to wash and possibly paint the underside of a couple of the roof panels of the run itself. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to do those in my sky blue. I'll show you the color. It's very much like my shirt.
This is like
much like a front porch,
paint the ceiling sky blue.
Like a front porch of a house, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And and I have enough of this. It's extremely expensive industrial paint, and I don't have any place for it, so I'm going to use it. And you
Sure.
literally, it's made to use on metal roofing. So I'm thinking that I'm only going to do it through the through this section, but not in their coop at where they're going to be at night.
Right.
I mean, I don't know if it's a visual thing that, we're in open air. I just want to give them a feeling, possibly, whether it's a pea brain or not, that their eyeballs might think that they're actually free ranging even from inside the coop.
Yeah,
I think-
definitely send us a picture of that when you get it done.
I was just going to say the
Yeah.
same thing. I cannot wait to see the final
Yeah.
pictures. We're already coming up to 1 o'clock, so we do have to wrap it up soon. But I tell you, there's a little bit of buzz in the comments. And Keith, I would love to get your thoughts on this, because you are a customer. You've had chickens. You have one of our chicken coops. And it's one of the most important parts of our chicken coop, something that we're very proud of, that a lot of people are like, there's no way that you can do that. The deep litter system. So the first question is, did you use the deep litter system with your chicken coop?
Absolutely.
Tell us about it.
Oh, guess what? Ron Papay just died the other day. The man who coined the phrase "set it and forget it." He literally just passed away like 2 days ago. I mean, it is a set it and forget it system. Here's how I describe my coop to people at any time. I make it very, very simple. The entire back container of the coop, where they sleep, where they poop, where they roost, all of that is lined in cutting board material. And it's not only lined, but it's lined correctly, that there's no seepage between seams. The bottom base part is always the most difficult to put in. Am I right?
Yeah.
The big sheet going in next is always the most difficult. I'll probably have to take off one of the spans down below to angle it in there.
No. You
just
can
go
do
in
it a
at an
certain
angle.
way. You can put it in an angle and drop it.
Well, it's the roost clips that you have.
Yeah.
The roost clips get in
Yeah.
the way. So
Right.
So anyway, we'll drop that in very soon. But even with the seams, it's all seamed together, and then all you do is you grab one big, whatever those bales, are
hemp,
called.
yeah.
One bale of hemp, of the shredded hemp. You throw that in there, and you don't touch a thing for at least 6 to 8 months.
And it's
It's
just
easy.
that simple. I'm
Yeah.
so glad Keith said what I always tell people. It's a set it and forget it system. And I've found over the years, people that mess with it too much, I think end up having problems. It's so important to make sure you got the chicken to coop ratio correct, because all you're doing is composting. The magic number is 1 part nitrogen to 30 parts carbon. I don't know anyone that goes in and counts that and figures it out. But you just don't overload that area.
Right.
He mentions that one
No.
bale of hemp, set it, forget it, and
Did your neighbors ever complain about your chickens at your last location?
Never, no complaints, no smell. None of that. None. Zero. Like it's the easiest thing on the planet. Not only that, but you end up with chickens that want to act like mom. And you go into collect eggs, and there's no eggs. You're like, where are they? And you go into the back, and they're all in the corner, covered in hemp and poop, and a hen that wants to be a mommy.
Yeah.
It happens, but I would say overall, once you're it's all about the eggs. Once you're getting them on a real good cycle, and you're getting good quality eggs, and you know the right feed, and you know their behavior, and heck, didn't you come over and clip
Yeah,
a couple
I
of
think
our
I did.
wings?
Speaking
Right.
of clipping, there's a question about clipping I wanted to get to, but that's right.
Yeah. I've been
Yeah.
by a few times.
Yep. Clipping is a big issue, right? And that's another whole segment you could talk about. Get a hairdresser on that is good with Flock of Seagulls hairdo, and as a segue. But but the system itself is, and when taking it apart, by the way, barely did I see any even traces of like cockroach trail droppings, or any other type of, we used
Test, yeah.
we use diatomaceous earth. I say DTE, but people would think I'm like talking about some really bad carcinogen or something. Diatomaceous earth, every once in a while to clean out the roosts, and just dry them out, keep them, keep them mite free and everything else works, works like a gem. We bought a big container. We never used all of it. Like you don't need with this system, you don't need much. It's really, figure out what your chickens like to eat, where you like to, how you like to position your food system in these. It's all user preference.
Right.
And there's a lot of room for user preference too. I always like to let people know you can there's just so many great options. Yes, there are things you can do that are wrong, but I love when people are asking us a lot of specifics about what do I do? And I love reminding them there's a lot of open options.
Right.
So Keith, we are coming to the top of the hour. I can't thank you enough for your time, all the great compliments. Hopefully we get to see you again soon. You mentioned this is just a salesman in me. There's an opportunity for that automatic waterer. I think you'll absolutely love it. It just makes it that much better to make it so easy to have chickens. But again, I can't thank you enough. And also just a quick plugs. I know people are going to ask us. That is an amazing t-shirt. And I believe it was on the sleeve where you said
Lowe's food store.
Foods.
Lowe's Foods.
Our local grocery
You
store.
need me to flex?
Oh, that's nice.
Of course.
Very
I
nice.
set you up for that.
Use
You're
the
welcome.
opportunity. Yes. Yes.
And we should plug his.
You
real
worked hard
estate
for that.
company.
Oh, yes. Ingrid just made a good point.
And you have your own realty, is that right?
Yes, I do. Yes, Bliss Real Estate here in downtown Cary, North Carolina. We are urban infill lifestyle experts, and just so happens that backyard hens is a big hot topic. Between that and urban gardening and all the other things that people tend to homestead around, particularly with where we are with viruses and other things that have taught us all that things that we do at home might be it might be more important to do things that are more healthy for us. And so this is a great alternative, and it's a great thing to share with the family. It really is. It just takes one crazy chicken person in the house
That's right.
to get everyone else involved. Because once you bring these babies home, someone else is going to help you keep them alive.
Right, right. And I just wanted to share that we met 10 years ago at a community garden conference because we both happened to start a community garden in our town. So that's how we met.
That's right.
And our kids are the same age.
Well, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad I color coordinated. My background, your background, it's all coming together here.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun. It's kind of a blue day. All right, Keith, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
You have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it, guys.
Bye.
All right. So that was a lot of fun. That is a man. I'll let Ingrid do her thing. She's over there like, stop messing with the mouse.
I'm going home.
No, you're not going home.
No, we have more stuff.
We have
I've got a list
Oh,
here.
hey, where's my list?
No, you're not privy. You're not privy to what's going on next. So Ingrid.
Well, I don't even know now.
So Ingrid.
Oh, Ingrid, do you want a copy?
Yeah, Ingrid was.
I have a copy.
So
Thank
that
you.
was
You
a
made it.
great interview. Good call
Keith
on
is
that.
a good guy.
No, he is. And I tell you,
Yeah.
what a great attention to detail, great pictures, great interview. I can see why he's successful at real estate. And just so many great things that I love when the customer shares it.
Mm-hmm.
We did not pay him to say that. I had no clue what he was going to say. But the reason why I love capturing those moments is for our customers or potential customers. Here it is from the customers. So many great things. And those are the things that you just really want to understand and why we do what we do. And I almost want to take the phrase, do it right. Because that's what we're all about.
You're setting people up for success.
Exactly.
That's what you're doing with your coops. And all the information we give people.
So I think we can almost be done. These things start to itch the inside of my ears.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
And I feel like I'm picking at my ear, but I do.
that does help.
Yeah.
Okay, now I can go another 15 minutes.
Oh, come on. Oh, no. So it is 1 o'clock already. If you're still here with us from the beginning, I appreciate you. watching this whole time. If you're just joining us, that was Keith Bliss, a realtor down in Cary, North Carolina, who has one of our chick coops, just moved it, and we'll share a bunch of those pictures later on. So I wanted to go over a couple things real quick. We did finally have our piece of paper here from Ingrid to go over some things I think she wanted to talk about and make sure if there's any other questions or comments to get to. And I know there's one question I thought was an interesting question I want to get to, so remind me about that.
Well, let's get to the questions.
Okay, let's do it.
We can save some of this stuff for next week.
Well, is there YouTube chicken police today?
I only have one comment.
Well, one's better than none. And is it worth it? Well, let's do some of the questions and comments. So we'll get to the YouTube. Oh, and did you upload? We have some new music.
Did we?
This is good.
Oh, I didn't upload the shop drama music.
The new one?
Yeah, I didn't. It's on my email. I didn't.
Oh, there's some
upload
new shop drama music Ingrid's been
All
working
right,
on.
now we need to
But
dish.
No,
Oh.
just
go
play
ahead
the
with
music.
the questions.
Oh, the
Why don't
music
you
without
answer
the-
Lisa's question? Can you see that? Why don't you put the comments up there, Mister?
I could tell how mad Ingrid's getting over there. She's like, God, you're just messing with. She's like, what do you even have me here for?
Yeah. So okay, so the bottom question was from Lisa, and I wanted to get that because she's getting her coop. Oh.
Lisa says, I think my coop package is coming with 2 bales of hemp. Should I only put in 1 bale and keep the other for use 8 to 10 months down the road? Or should I put both bales in? Keith mentioned that he only used 1 bale.
It's a great question.
Yeah, I would put 1 bale in. And also, I will point out that your bales are 44 pounds and some other ones are 33 pounds. So definitely the 44-pound one should be plenty for the standard 4x6 coop.
True, but again, I cannot emphasize. Think about that hemp is your diaper. That is
Right.
You got to make sure you have the right size diaper for the right size baby. So don't be those people that put in 20 to 30 chickens in one of these 4x6 hen houses and be like, oh, deep littered sucks.
Yeah.
You know, this hemp sucks. No, you got to have the right size diaper. So if you're following the rules, the 1 foot rule. So if we have a 4x6 hen house, you got 2 6-foot roost bars, no more than 12 chickens. It is a set it and forget it system. And you can use 1 bale, save the other bale for later,
Yep.
pull from that, add a layer on top, or we have had,
Did you want to hear it?
there's the shop
All
drama.
right, we've got some.
Yeah, I'm not sure if people can hear that or not, but why don't you just go ahead and upload that, and we'll make sure our
Okay.
customers love it, and then I can turn it down a little bit because I think it's a little
I'm
loud.
sorry.
Look at Ingrid flying around the Mac now. I think she did get an iPhone, and I wish the rest of the world get iPhones because you green bubble people drive me
You
crazy.
know who does that green bubble, people?
here
Apple
we go.
does that to you.
Oh, it's Apple's
the
fault?
one. Yeah, Apple's the one that makes it look
Apple
ugly.
makes life great.
Ah,
That's all. Oh, both of you. So, but hold on, real quick. You can use both bales, and you just probably are going to stir it more. But I would say
I would start with one and store the other.
Yeah, I mean that's probably what most people do. It's what we do. I know sometimes people are concerned about like where am I going to put this bale of hemp. So you can get both. It's just that easy. You really don't
You can
want to
put it
overthink
in your
it.
living room with a
Hold
blanket on top
I
as a
just
nice
want to
stool.
comment too. I hope this compliment is okay. The picture of how do you say her first name? Ekin Thomason. That is just such. She's a common listener viewer.
Yep.
Such a great photo.
She has a lot of good stuff to say too.
She does. I just think that's such a beautiful photo of her. I always stop and look at that, and just a great photo. So I just wanted to mention that. pH neutral. Oh,
Yeah,
we
so
can talk here.
Howard was saying that he uses the hemp and the deep litter, and he puts pH neutral compost in his run, kind of like Cecil. Remember Cecil from Alabama.
Oh, that was a great day.
The coop is 10 feet from his neighbor's property line, and the neighbors he corrected us. I have no issues with smell. It works.
Yes.
Oh, good.
Yeah. It's just that simple. Howard, thank you for sharing that. It's just that simple. Again, chicken to coop ratio. So many people get the wrong idea about chickens from 2 things. Roosters and people that have nightmares from being that little kid that had to go into these huge chicken houses,
right.
being attacked by chickens. That's not what we're talking about here.
Or
people.
attacked by a rooster.
Or attacked by a rooster, absolutely.
And I think people or neighbors are concerned about the smell. Like that, if you have livestock, if you have chickens in your backyard, that it's going to smell.
Right. I remember you had a neighbor recently complaining about smell, 3 miles away?
I remember when we set up where our coop was going to go, and our neighbors asked, "Oh, what are you doing there?" And we said, "We're going to get a chicken coop." And the reaction was odd, like, "Oh." And then when we got our American coop, they're like, "Oh my God, that's beautiful." So it completely changed their preconceived notion of what a ratty chicken coop would look on the side of the house that you can see from the street. They didn't care for until we got ours.
Speaking of Ingrid's chicken coop, we haven't brought it up, so I'm going to bring it up. But we are due. We can so do it. We are, when you are ready, we got the manpower here. Go down, put your roof on. That'll be so much fun. We'll do it. I promise. We've had it in our possession for like 3 years.
I know.
But more importantly, did you get your roof bars in?
I didn't get them in yet. We're very busy at my house. We're going to do it this weekend. We just tested. It does fit. It's a little...
Snug?
No, it's not snug.
It's a little loose?
It doesn't fit all the way, but I figured with the
No, it needs to fit right lengthwise.
there's room in between. So maybe 69. Maybe my original 69 was correct.
Well, that's all we needed to know. So we have 69-inch roof bars. Actually, there was just one on last week's show, so you can take that one. Anyways, okay.
I have
awesome.
a chicken scratch to show here. Yeah.
Hold on. Cue the music.
No, I don't. What? Is there wham wham music?
No, so we have some chicken drama. I see how much you guys are pushing this.
Yeah.
And
Well, no, I have a chicken scratch because last night I banded all my spring chickens.
This makes it so funny now. For our viewers, I'm not sure because we're not uploading that.
So
but
my
can
spring
you guys hear
chickens
that
now
drama
are
music?
old enough and big enough to go into the big
The
coop.
music is very distracting. All right, go ahead now.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No. Keep playing it. That's good.
That's not the. That's the old one.
Oh,
without
no.
the
I
chicken.
want the new one. I want the
I
new.
don't know where it downloaded to because you know how I love this computer so
Oh,
much.
Ingrid, you're killing me. It's right
I
here.
downloaded it.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
See, you overthink, and it's just this easy.
Okay. Well, that's not where it goes. It goes in there.
Competing.
I'm not touching it anymore. Okay, now.
Do you see how quickly I did? So you have a scratch.
I do. I got them all over. But yeah, there was 2 that were really feisty. The rest were just absolutely wonderful, lovely little ladies. But yes, I went ahead and moved them all to a big coop. And they're all happy.
I love the drama music. I love it.
That's my chicken, by the way.
I had a feeling.
Yeah.
I had a feeling this drama music cost me a little bit of money. Ingrid's how did you get the drum?
I had it. I just
Oh.
looked through my videos and I had this already.
We should start a chicken soap opera.
As the coop turns.
That's not bad.
No. I like it.
Oh shit! I don't want to have a laughing fit. Oh, that is so funny. No, and the funny part is I'm still not understanding what you're talking about. So you got scratched how? You weren't zip tying their legs together, were you?
No, not together. I used a zip tie loosely around one leg to identify my spring chickens because I put them in with the other chickens and some of them look the same.
She wants to know the age of her chicken, so she basically bands their legs. So
Yeah,
she
which
can tell.
year they came.
Right.
Yeah.
What hatch they were from.
Because, yeah, after they get to be full grown, they look just like the other one.
I hope our viewers, our listeners, are enjoying the chicken drama music as much as I am right now. Oh, you don't got your ears
I know,
in.
she's got to hear it.
No,
Oh,
I'm gonna have to see it. I hear it on the replay.
Oh no, you're missing out. That's why you're not laughing.
I am laughing because you're laughing.
She's laughing at you, not
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah.
What else is new? All right.
I'll have to call in later when I hear it on the ride home.
Oh, that's so funny. All right. So questions and comments, and well, let's do the Ingrid, if you want to cue it up. we gotta do one. It's been a couple weeks. The last time we did YouTube Chicken Police, it got a little hot in here. I want to say, actually, someone got so angry he was almost gonna walk in here and get on the mic, and that was my father.
Oh.
Yeah, that's it, when the yeah.
Or
that's
were
just-
you gonna leave in a huff?
No, there's no leaving in huffs. Okay.
I think that's the only way to leave. is in a huff.
Ingrid leaves in a huff a lot.
I need to leave in a huff more
No,
often.
I don't think you have it in you. See.
Yeah,
All right.
There's a couple
I-
things.
I only have one.
One's fine. We should only probably do one. This better be good.
All right. So CR, that's all we know. says.
Wait, hold on.
Oh, they don't even use their full name.
Yeah, shocker. Did what's her name ever?
No, Karen.
Karen. We need to call Karen.
No, we don't need to call Karen. So the price of your coops are pretty high. Then shipping $700 or so, I think, is an issue. Why folks go get box coops, which I guess is like big box coops.
Yeah,
That's right.
farms.
You can
store
pay
coops.
about $400 to $1,000 at that. I'm
Okay.
quoting because it's not good
Is
grammar.
this
I don't speak
commenting
like that.
on a video where I was trying not to bash, because I've always thought you don't bash your competition, even though I don't see the Chinese coffin coops as a competition.
Right.
But
It was on the coop-tastrophe, cheap coop.
Yeah, so she's making a comment on how expensive your coops are, and then on top of that, you have a lot of shipping.
right, so that's what that tells me, and this is why we do the show.
Yeah.
It's only expensive until you see the value. And that's what I want people to learn. One, yeah, I want you to buy my coop, or you're going to learn from us and build your own, okay? But here is why, and here's what you need to know. And these Chinese coffin coops, they lie to you. And yes, they're readily available and they're inexpensive. That's why they buy them. I don't think they buy them because of how expensive our coops are. If anything, once people get those coops, they end up buying from us. And we are doing so much.
A lot of people have
To make
said that they couldn't build your coop
Exactly.
for what you charge.
That's right. And we are fighting every single, like, I don't even know what time I went to bed last night. And I'm just thinking, if people just knew the hours we put in, like just getting the CNC up and running so that it can be efficient and
Did you get it up and running?
No, not yet. That's a whole nother story. So that wasn't too bad, but yeah.
Well, I let them know the value because you can
Right.
buy a $400 coop, and if you're going to buy one like that every year because it's going to fall
Right.
apart, and then after
And
or
you might
1,000
lose your chickens and have to replace
right.
those.
So what's the cost of all that? Think about that.
Right. No, that's a great point. That's a great point.
If
All
you-
right. Well, that was a good YouTube Chicken Police.
Okay.
Stop.
Stop.
No. Fine.
Oh my God.
You got
wait,
yeah.
wait,
You
wait,
got to
wait.
listen to it. It makes
Okay,
this so much funnier. I know you don't like the earbuds, but so now talk about your. I got chicken scratches. I'll be honest with you. I still have no clue how that happened. Oh, because you were putting zip ties to identify the
Yes.
chicken loosely, not banding them together. We do not, if I'm gonna say it right, condone that. That was still a little unsettling.
Well, we don't raise roosters, so
Okay.
I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt there.
You know, there might be a lot of people that do it, and it's maybe if it saves the hens. You know, it's not like it's gonna hurt the rooster. It's just weird. I found that very, very strange. That's all. Okay. So what else we got going on? What's some more questions and comments so we can get going here?
So, Miguel Jorge from Holly Ridge, North Carolina, wanted to ask you guys the most common type of chickens, and what are the pros and cons with that?
The most common types?
Yeah. What?
Okay, well, I think the most common types are the ones that you usually see in the farm store in the spring because those really sell the best. The most common types, let's go with size. They're the standard size. And then the most common, like if you have a commercial operation, you will always see Rhode Island Red for brown eggs and a Leghorn for white eggs. The Leghorns aren't typically great pets, which is why most people who have a backyard flock tend to go with the brown egg layers or now the colored egg layers because they're the most friendly and docile and they have good production a lot of times. So the most common ones, if I want to name some names, those would be all of the Orpingtons. The buff Orpington is very common. There are other colors that they come in. The rocks, which are the barred rocks and the white rocks, those are very good layers and very common. Rhode Island Red, and then you've got some of the crosses, which are excellent egg layers, and that's what they call the red sex link or the black sex link or the red comet, red star. Those are all the same chicken. I'm just looking at these Wyandottes.
There's my favorite right there, huh? We got to give a shout out. God, I love them. We need to order more of them. Go up just a little, just a little. I mean, oh, and those were the biggest Orpingtons. Okay, right there, smack in the middle.
These.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, the Silver Lace Cochin. They came from Whelp Hatchery, and they have a breeder out in New Mexico.
Why don't you go ahead and order a box?
We need to just get around.
We are not ordering any more until we have a coop built, painted, and set up on site.
Hold on. Cue the drama music. So that is Nan who just busted into the studio. We are not getting any more. God, how many people can relate?
But you got to place the order today.
They have a sale right now, Nan.
No.
Where's Jetta?
You could
She'll
place the
disagree.
order today, and they'll come in 4 weeks, and then you'd have your 4-week countdown. Right? Does that work? Does it work?
That's the wrong one.
Anyway, Silver Lace Coaches, they're just
Because you
one of
don't
my...
have any other coops coming up in 4 weeks, do you?
Oh my gosh. We're going to be gone in about a week. The plan is...
yeah, what are we going to do in August?
Oh my gosh. So guys, yeah, just to give everyone a heads up, August is going to be a crazy month. August, September. I did commit to our... we probably can't talk about what we're doing in September yet.
I wouldn't.
Why? I hate that. But
Because I don't know that we can. So until we know.
A high-profile coop?
you could say it's a whole high-profile coop.
Yeah.
Hope
I think you can say
for
that.
a high-profile
client.
clients. See, now I get yelled at. Someone is like, that's not a client.
that's
They're customers.
very, very vague. I
Okay,
think that's
so-
fine. That you may see on TV.
Right, there you go.
Ooh,
That we can say.
Like
that
real
we can
TV.
say. Ooh.
Not just this TV. Not that this is...
TV. This is video. All right. Anyways.
Not that this is less than.
So, yeah, August is going to be crazy. I can see us doing a lot of shows out in the field, but
Yeah.
Maybe.
time is up. Time is up for me.
Yeah, so
and-
you won't see us in the studio probably in August. I can come next
No,
week.
I expect you and Ingrid to be here.
Oh, do you?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh.
Oh, excuse me?
Well, I'll be at the beach.
Yeah.
I can call in from the beach 1 week.
We might miss a couple. Let's just,
Uh,
we'll do our best.
We're going to do our best.
all right, let's see if there's any questions that we missed.
Yeah, questions, comments before we miss is already 1:18. I'm getting a little hangry. I guess it is. Okay, Sue says she loves the chicken drama music
I
too.
like that too. I think I might fall asleep to that.
All I can tell you is it did make it funny. We gotta stick to that. There's Emily. Hi, Emily. How you doing? She's got a question.
When is it too late to vaccinate a chick?
That your broody birds has hatched.
So if you're hatching your own chicks, when is it too late to vaccinate? That's a very specific question I wouldn't have the answer to. But there...
And prevent shedding. Hold on. There's a lot going on in this question.
Yeah, Merrick's, I do know the Merrick's vaccine, unless something's changed, it's very expensive and comes in a bottle for 1,000 doses or something.
So-
It's not manufactured for backyard use.
Okay, hold on a minute. So I never thought about this.
Uh-huh.
You can vaccinate your own chicks.
Yes, you can.
Have
But
you ever
now-
done it?
No. I tend to go with the natural immunity. If
Yeah.
they're kept in a very, good conditions, I don't think it's necessary. Or I've not had an issue with it. And I just
And the question goes on, and do you have to separate that chick from the flock or prevent shedding?
Shedding.
Feather shedding? Or vaccine shedding?
vaccine shedding. We can't talk about that.
Oh, okay, never mind. That's why I
We're
wasn't
gonna get-
sure.
we're gonna get
Is that what she's
banned.
talking about? Is vaccine shedding?
Yeah.
Oh, CDC. Oh,
Oh,
cue the chopper music.
oh.
We gotta have chopper music. Ingrid doesn't find that
So,
funny.
Mike had a question.
she's
He
changing
answered
the
this
subject.
before. If you trim the chicken nails, because that Polish parrot that he has at home,
Yeah, generally you don't have to trim their
it's
nails.
getting a little rough on the back of his neck.
But none of the rules apply to the Polish parrot. I mean, we don't usually dress up our chickens and take them places, but we're going to make exception for Polish parrot.
yeah.
And you may want to paint those nails too.
Is there a way to trim? Do you know if you, like with dogs, when you trim their nails, they have the bane going through the nails? Is it the same thing with chickens, Kristen?
I don't know.
I
Try it.
believe so. I have read this.
Yeah, just don't cut off too much at one time.
Absolutely.
That's probably a safe thing to do.
Because I know with pet birds, parrots,
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. You
You gotta be careful.
Yeah.
so
I've
let's
had a parrot. Kiwi.
kiwi, potty. I've never seen someone train a bird to defecate on demand in Lowe's before. Potty.
Howard also wanted to say he built his coop and he copied your style because it's the best. And over 100 hours of labor later, buying tools and materials, it would have been cheaper to buy your
Yeah.
coop.
Thank you, Howard.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Again, that's the point I
100
want to make to
hours of
people.
labor.
And
Right.
the tools, you have all the
Yeah.
stuff.
You know,
I just bought a saw. They're not cheap.
no, they're
Still
not.
in the box.
So that's a part I take for granted.
Yeah.
I always think about going out and buying the materials and your labor. I just assume everyone has tools, but you're right. I
And
forget.
not everyone knows how to do everything like you do.
Well, we've learned the hard way. So again, that's the point. 'Cause I am all about, if you're not going to buy one of my coops, learn from us. I'm not asking you to call in and ask for our recipe. That's not what I'm saying. The people do that. I find that kind of, I'll be honest, frustrating. It's like, you know, would you call Emerald Lagasse and be like, yeah, I need your recipe or something.
Yeah,
But-
I might call.
But make it your own. Learn from us. Learn the basics. That's what we're trying to do here. And have fun with it. Get out there. Get it in the sun. Get some vitamin D. Get some tools you never thought you would use
Get some
before.
mosquito bites.
I tell you, speaking of tools, can we discuss an idea? We have a crazy idea
What?
that maybe our viewers out there can say, Matt, that's not bad. That's good. Or you are crazy.
What is it?
I don't know if I've told you. All right, so here's the deal. As we sit in this building and we're all about producing these coops very efficient. And efficient means we can bring the price down. We will use our buying powers to keep the price down on materials. It's all about the best coop for the best price. One of the very expensive, complicated parts about the American coop is cutting out the furring strips that are pre-drilled to attach the furring strips on the coop to attach the screen. All right, I think Ingrid's a little nervous. I'm not going to say anything crazy.
No, I'm just.
Okay. Evan and I, you know, Evan's the
Yeah.
genius at what he does. We've been discussing a couple options so that we keep the price down. Anyways, we thought about offering in our kits a prepaid card. Not saying we're doing this for the record. It's just an idea. A prepaid card from Lowe's Home Improvement that part of your purchase comes with this card that you can go into Lowe's and buy exactly what you need. In this case, the staple gun, in order to put on your own screen. It'll actually be cheaper, believe it or not, for the amount of money, especially with the way wood costs, but how long it takes to cut these furring strips. Give the customer the option, if they don't already have a staple gun, to go purchase that.
Is that a pneumatic staple gun?
It's a pneumatic staple gun, and we can sell our special staples that we use that are stainless steel. You cannot find on the shelf. That is a huge mistake a lot of people make. So we already buy them in huge quantities. We can include that, but I don't want to go buy hundreds of staple guns. I suppose we could, but I just thought Lowe's would think, man, because they're all about, we got to get people in our building.
Yeah.
And the staple gun,
I think that's a great idea.
thank you. The staple gun's only $100. And maybe we can get a
Does
little
that
bit.
come with the air compressor?
Okay, so that's the $1 million question.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's a legitimate question. Well, Matt, how many people have an air compressor? And again, I'm like, well, doesn't everyone?
No.
I think I have one in the corner of the garage, but I don't know. I
You
haven't
have
seen
one-
that corner of the garage for a while.
So it's just an idea. And I'm thinking, you know, I think that would work. And not, is it going to be quicker for you to put on your screen? It's going to save you money.
How much is an air compressor, though? Can you rent that? Is that something?
Mm-hmm. You could rent one. You go knock on your neighbor's door. I want to say most people have an air compressor. Am I
don't.
crazy?
I have
You're
I
a
have a
little bit
table
crazy.
saw. I have a chop saw. I don't have an air compressor.
I would think more people have have an air compressor than they have a table saw. Oh, and I also want
What
to
about
mention.
the handheld staple gun?
No.
The
No.
cha-chunk one?
But no,
What?
don't. She's there. It is. Oh, Ingrid, in that you got to get in the. Oh, it doesn't stop.
Oh my God! Stop.
Ah,
Oh, we need that drum pad. That's what we need. So you just hit that. So yeah, no handheld staples. I went to a show recently and this dude selling a chicken coop. God bless him. I've been there. I understand, but I remember telling Nana, I said, if we did that, we would have been crucified. Big mistake. Yep, staple gun and compressor, no table saw. Yeah, so let us know out there. It's just an idea. We have a staple gun and air compressor. So there you go. It is an idea. We are looking at every possible option so that people can have
that is clever.
Well, Emily built her own coop, but she doesn't have an air compressor. So there you go.
But she does have a table saw, though.
Yeah. Well, you need it to fill those big sheets.
Yeah, and Ozzy has a table saw, no compressor.
Wow. Oh, I almost feel like now
You
we're.
love the compressor
Yeah,
noise.
and
That's your favorite noise.
No, I hate.
Oh, I hate it.
Did you guys notice? You didn't hear our air compressor going this
Oh
morning?
no, you have
Oh,
one
but
running?
it's going.
That's so quiet.
It's
Wait
called
a
a
minute.
screw compressor. Yeah, quiet. You could sleep next to that thing.
Now Mike Trapp says I did staple the screen up to hold it in place for the trim pieces. I do love the trim pieces as it looks better than the stapled look, and I agree with him.
He likes the furring strips.
Yeah, the furring strips are like a picture frame around your around each panel, so they do look nice.
It does finish it nice.
They absolutely do, and we're still thinking about including it. But here's the difference: is we would not have to cut them on the CNC. We can rip them. Oh, here we go. I guess we're running overtime. I think
Yeah.
we're being told, here comes Gus the bus.
There's
Here
taco
comes
salad
Jetta.
for
But we do have a
lunch.
couple more questions.
Oh, yeah. I want to
So,
do the questions. I
yeah,
hate that we don't get into it. And I
Here,
love
here,
that.
Gus, you
No,
wanna sit up
we
here?
don't need Gus. No. Where are you going? No.
I'm gonna
see,
get
you always,
slobbered.
no. Oh, I'm a cat
Okay,
person.
All right.
All right. I don't really know that we have more questions.
Yeah, there was a follow up from
Oh, there's
Emily.
great
Oh yeah,
comments.
Emily was just basically saying that was the advice from Pfizer where she got the vaccine, but she's thinking if all her other chicks are vaccinated, then she wouldn't necessarily need to have the new one vaccinated. Which is probably the case as long as we
Right.
got medicated feed and that
Right.
stuff.
What the medicated feed treats something different than
Oh,
Merrick's.
okay.
But yeah, in general, I wouldn't worry about it. I mean, she's got such a nice big coop. They're going to
Yeah.
be healthy. I would say her risks are
Gosh,
low,
and
and
I
they just
tell-
don't make Merrick's vaccines for backyard people.
Yeah.
She's got an awesome Instagram. I tell you,
Yeah.
I love watching her pictures come through, especially with
Yeah.
the baby goats. I miss goats. We actually had a customer call recently asking how our coop will hold up with goats. And I was like, well, we had goats, but we had to loan them out. Well, since we're not in New York at the farm, but her goats were jumping up on our egg hutch, and we've never had goats jump up on our egg hutches.
Now, I do remember at least 2 coops where we had people with goats and chickens. And what we did there is we made the chicken door up higher so that the chickens could jump up and get in, but the goats could not. Do you remember that?
Absolutely,
And that worked.
it did.
We did that for a bantam coop as well.
We did. Golly, that was so long ago. But what a great, easy solution.
Matter of fact, the coop that I'm building for my daughter at her house is non-HOA. I think I'm going to get her goats. And
I
I'm going
would.
to do the same thing.
I'm telling you, goats are so easy.
I think you can only have 2 goats in Raleigh. I don't know where she is, but
She's in Wake County.
I didn't think there was any rules in Raleigh. I thought you could have a
so
horse.
she's not outside of city limits.
yeah, I don't
Just
know
like
if it's
me.
I don't know if it's Wake or Raleigh. I just
Huh,
heard
so I'm
only
gonna
2
do
goats.
that. I'm gonna
Like
add
the
that to
like
my-
the yogurt says, you can buy a cheaper compressor and nailer for under $100.
Oh yeah, we got to look into this.
I
I mean, you already are, but
I
I'm
am.
going to follow up behind you.
But I am, and Randy made a good point too. The combination air pressure and staple gun, they already have this kit, so
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah,
I
I've
can.
got the Ryobi one. The
Home Depot.
yeah.
I will admit Home Depot has been growing on me lately. All right, guys, it is 1:30. That is my official real cutoff. I can't go any further.
Oh, and I've had somebody else ask, is there anywhere that people can see the combined comments, or do they have to go to Facebook to see Facebook comments and then YouTube to YouTube comments? There's nowhere for them to see the consolidation view that we see during the show, right?
What was the? I feel like I
No.
should cue the drama music.
No,
again.
it happens live and it happens through Restream. So
Okay.
it's just the people can continue to comment, I think, on the video, and we can get back to the comments. But yeah, they're two separate things.
Okay. All right. It was just
Well, you guys were talking.
No,
All
it's
right.
fine.
That's awesome. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed the show. That was a good one. That was a lot of fun. We may or may not see you next Friday. I have to get out to New Mexico, a unbelievable custom coop coming up that we're going to be building from scratch on site. The details are crazy. So we may be filming from there, may not. I'm not exactly sure yet. But have a good weekend.
All right.